Daily Nation Standard. It's all about Sha. Joining us live in the studios is the MP for Kitutu Chache South. Kitutu Chache South.
Walai.
That's Antony Kibagendi.
Antony.
He's part of the health committee, by the way.
Imagine.
So he was there at the forefront.
Walikuwa hapo wakiwa na chairman wake anaitwa Pukose Robert na ni daktari huyo jamaa. Sijui kama ni ya masomo ama practice.
Ni ile PhD. Mheshimiwa, welcome to Hot 96.
Bwana Mwesh, are you proud? Ashamed?
I'm ashamed of what the 13th Parliament has done to Kenya. Not just the Health Committee, but the entire House, because of how we've carried ourselves out, especially when it comes to issues affecting Kenyans. And that is why when you invited me for this particular show, I was more than ready to come and demonstrate that indeed we have failed Kenyans as Parliament because of what we have done. And I'm the only member of Parliament who has stood against SHA from when we were making the regulations to even yesterday when I was talking about how money is being stolen from SHA. And that is why we need to genuinely confront this monster and be able to come up with a solution. And we have tried to advise the ministry, to advise government, and our advice falls on deaf ears. Awasiki.
Mahesh, but you were there from the very beginning.
Yes.
Like even before the Gen Z protest.
Yes.
Yeah.
When did the idea of transitioning from NHIF to SHIF, when was it mooted?
Now, this idea, while President William Ruto was campaigning for the 2022 elections, he insinuated that he wants to pull all Kenyans into a social health program, whereby everyone is taken care of by government. Taken care of by government in the sense that out of the member contributions and exchequer releases to the social health authority or social health insurance fund, every Kenyan would be taken care of by this particular fund. So the president decided to come up with 3 laws. One on primary health care, critical health management, and there's another one on emergency, which are wonderful ideas. While they were coming up with this, we thought it was necessary to continue with NHIF and bring these new ideas as departments within the National Hospital Insurance Fund. But because they were determined on creating opportunities for friends and themselves, they really pushed for disbandment of NHIF. And even when we had passed the laws irregularly, when I say irregularly is because even the report that passed these laws in Parliament through our committee, when they came to Parliament, a bulk of our members did not sign the report. And we even stood up and got an opportunity in Parliament to challenge our chairman, Honorable Pukose, on areas that we thought were not right, from matters to do with redundancy of all the NHIF staff, because not everyone was involved in fraud. It was just within the areas to do with the compensation on bills. That is where you find people from the grassroots level, the officer, NHIF staff, let's say in Kisii County, they collude with owners of hospitals or staff from the various hospitals, including public hospitals, and you find that someone goes there, they are not sick, but the hospital claims that they've done a kneecap replacement. They claim, let's say 350. And sometimes someone goes there, I use Jeff's
example,
Jeff's card. To get treatment, especially when it comes to the surgeries like a hip replacement and stuff like that.
They don't verify.
Now, the verification is supposed to be done by staff, NHIF staff, and there's the biometric bit. So I come and put the biometric, you come and put the biometric, but the person that is getting treated is me. yeah, or we actually go to hospital, there's no treatment, however, there is payment that is done to that hospital. So we had a lot of these cases. We visited hospitals, some clinics here in Eastleigh. A hospital that is in a 2-bedroom house is onboarded to NHIF as a level 4, and you find that they say that they do like 60 surgeries in a week, yet they have some very inferior theaters, and you find that they claim 200 million shillings per month,
and they get it,
and they used to get it. Now it was what we call, they were colluding with NHIF staff all the way from the top in the claims department, where they were working on this, and you know, it starts from from what we call approvals. Yeah, there's a scheme, we organize, you approve, and the entire chain, everybody has something they make out of it.
Everyone is eating.
Yes. Now, because of that, it necessitated that they start a new claims process, how to manage approvals and claims. Unfortunately, the proposal that was put forth by the majority side or by government was that claims be managed by external entities, which is inappropriate, because the core mandate of an insurance, a health insurance fund, is to approve and work on claims. But unfortunately, the plan was to give friends, the scheme was to give friends of those in power an opportunity to make money out of managing these claims.
Yeah.
Yet they said this would be done in such a way that there would never be fraud.
Right.
We tried to fight that, we couldn't. At the committee level, you know, committee has about 15 members. Those who are against it were about 4. Myself, Dr. Nyikal, Honorable Ron, Honorable Madenge. Now, after the laws were passed anyway, we started questioning. That time the CS was Madam Nakumicha. And that time, SHA needed 5 billion shillings for their system.
5 billion?
5 billion. That was the request they made to the committee.
Yeah.
Within a few weeks, it moved from 5 to 10 billion. After that, the next thing was 104 billion.
Good Lord.
While they were doing this, the people that provided the NHIF system had requested that they be given an opportunity to upgrade the NHIF system to whatever system the ministry wanted then, the Ministry of Health wanted, so that they can be given paid an extra 2 billion shillings. So we could have saved 102 billion shillings.
So initially it was, we would have like just upgraded NHIF system.
Yes,
and cost us
to the ministry. Yes,
or 2.
Yeah.
And then when we decided to change from,
and there were 2-3 other companies that wished to provide this system, but now the 104 billion that is spread over 10 years, that the president yesterday was now denying that there is nothing like that. It is unfortunate that the president can do that, because he has been defending this over time. Now he's again turning back and saying government will not pay that amount. We know, Mr. President, this has been the case, this is the scheme. And the Auditor General demonstrated that monies that are contributed to the Social Health Insurance Fund are remitted to private entities weekly or daily in hundreds of millions. In the past, can I say about 7 months, we've collected close to 14 billion shillings.
What?
Because the newspaper headline indicates that 900 million shillings is what the government's pay bill number reportedly collects on a daily basis.
Now, that is the government pay bill number. What about the people who pay directly to, let's say, CDN Bank? CDN Bank is one of the collectors, and the various other banks. You get?
Yeah. So it's over $1 billion, Bob, on a day.
And again,
$1 billion
now
a day.
Another thing you need to know, why this is a scheme to defraud Kenyans, is this. Number one, in the past, parliamentarians, for example, we used to receive our funds from the exchequer to the PSC. And then PSC would deduct from our salary the NHIF amount and remit it to NHIF. Now, for this one, so that the pool is full all the time, the deduction is done at source. The amount that is supposed to be paid by, let's say, PSC, or let's say Ministry of Mining, it is deducted at the source, at the treasury. And then now that amount is quickly paid out to agencies that Kenyans don't know. And that is why the Auditor General, the control of budgets, have been making noise. But let me go back to what I can call the benefits of the Social Health Authority versus what NHIF used to provide. You realize, while there are some fundamental changes in what SHA offers in terms of what I can call extreme or chronic illnesses, and even emergency cases, whereby right now, if you got an accident out here, a critical, an accident that puts you in a very critical state, you don't have to be taken to Kenyatta to queue to look for a stretcher and all that. The first thing that will be done, you'll be taken to Nairobi Hospital. Nairobi Hospital will stabilize you before they can move you to your level of the level of hospital that you're supposed to be in. First, you go to Nairobi Hospital, and then after you're stabilized, you can be moved to Kenyatta or to Mbagathi. You'll be stabilized and then be moved to a hospital that you can afford according to your card. Your payments, your subscriptions will determine your level.
How much
level 4
is deducted from my payslip, you mean?
Now, for like someone who is paying from their payslip, if you have an alternate insurance that determines where you can go, will be that card, your employer will have determined where the level of hospital you can go to. But for the other contributors, they are able to use any public hospital from all the level from level 1 to level 6. Level 6 and referral hospitals like Kenyatta or Kisii level 6 or Moi and teaching referral or Madari hospital. However, while that is a game changer, that is a wonderful opportunity. However, if you go back to what NHIF used to offer, let's say on Linda Mama, unajua uko registered, si lazima tuangalie card. Even with your biometrics, they are able to tell huyu ni Mkenya.
But he's unconscious now, he's bleeding to death.
Now you will be stabilized. Whether yes, that is what the law says. You will be stabilized, and now who will pay for that bill?
That's the
question. It is the emergency fund. Now, yes. See, by the way, ni contribution yako. So gava si pesa inatoka kwa mfuko ya mtu mwingine, ni wewe na mimi na wengine tuna contribute. It will be paid for by the emergency fund. Now, that it is Nairobi Hospital that will claim that amount
from the emergency
fund, which is a game changer, which is a wonderful opportunity. Unakumbuka tulikuwa tukitoa watu kwa terror attack sites, tunawakimbiza wote Kenyatta Hospital. Now this time round watapelekwa kwa hospitali yote, watapelekwa Mpisha pale vile ilifanyika, let's say Westgate, watakimbizwa Mpisha, watakimbizwa Aga Khan, watakimbizwa hizo hospitali around there, and then once they are stabilized ndio they can be moved.
So Wakenya wanafaa kujua that right now mtu wa bodaboda amegongwa na gari hit and run.
Yes.
Wanafaa kumchukua na kumpeleka kwa hospitali yoyote. Private and public.
Private and public. And then
the nearest.
Yes. Once you're stabilized, and then that is when you can be moved.
But for you to be stabilized, lazima uwe registered.
No. Now at this point, the assumption is every Kenyan is registered, because sheria inasema ni kila Mkenya ako na right ya kupata hiyo emergency treatment. However, is it being utilized? Hospitals are a little afraid because SHA does not pay. In fact, that fund has about, they said the treasury allocated 2 billion shillings initially of the 10 billion that was supposed to be allocated. The utilization has been around 18 million shillings Kenya mzima in the past about 7 months.
Out of 2B.
Out of 2B. Haijakulwa. The issue here is, have they communicated adequately? No. The second thing I wanted to talk about is the chronic illnesses, like cancer, like diabetes and all this.
Yeah.
That is also taken care of.
In the sense that?
as in they are able to take care of it. The unfortunate bit is, let's say you go for dialysis or chemotherapy. If you exhaust the amount they've allocated you, you have to wait until the next financial year. Like now, there are people who are being told, we're to ngoje mpaka June, otherwise you pay cash. Yeah, so the allocations are also fringe, especially on critical illnesses. But now, those are what I can call a little more complicated areas. Let's come to regular things. Kina mama mjamzito, in the past, they were taken care of in totality. As in, when you get to the hospital, when you are rushed to the hospital, you're about to deliver, or from that time to the point you step out of hospital, the cost is taken care of by NHIF. Right now, there is a cap. If it is a regular delivery, normal delivery, the SHA will only pay 12,000 Kenya shillings. If the child develops complications, if you develop a complication, you need probably 2-3 pints of blood and stuff like that, or you have to use the ICU, or the baby has to be in a incubator, the nursery. Now that extra cost, you have to take care of it from your pocket.
And if you don't have it,
you'll be able to deal with the hospital. That is why people have title deeds in hospitals. That is why people have logbooks in hospitals. The second thing is, if you go for a C-section, what is going to happen is they will do the C-section and SHA can only pay up to 33,000 shillings. If you develop any complication, now you will have to pay out of pocket. That is one. Number two, you may not believe that SHA has decided through their statisticians that for every household, I have 4 kids. If I have, let's say, 5 kids and my wife, the only amount allocated to that family for dental per year is 2,000 shillings.
For dental.
Na root canal ni 15,000.
15,000.
Na sisi millennials wote wamengolewa meno sita.
Hata kusafisha meno alone
peke yake ni 50-70,000.
Sasa wameweka hiyo ni 2K. If you have any optical problem in that family, there is only 2,000 shillings per year.
Na glasses peke yake, prescription lenses unaambiwa ni 73,000.
Na frame na nini na hiyo mambo yote. Na hata testing, cause lazima wafanyie ma tests. Haya, ukikuja kwa kitu inaitwa diabetes test, wameweka only one person per household, 3,000 bob.
Come on.
Yeah? And various other things. So these are fringe benefits in comparison to what NHIF was offering against the amounts we pay. In NHIF, we used to raise about 78 billion shillings a year on average. Right now, we raise about 138 billion shillings. But the benefits are inferior. And now, that is where we come to. Pesa inaenda wapi?
Now, from where you sit, do you...
Now, pesa, umesikia the controller of budget, umesikia auditor general, akisema pesa inalipwa to some fictitious or individuals and companies that are not known. That is now where the problem is. Another thing, we are not paying hospitals. Juzi mliona wakisema hospitali private mission
30 billion.
They are ordered close to 30 billion. And can I tell you what they are going to do? What government is going to do? So that they take advantage of this situation. The 30 billion itatoka from the pool. Lakini watasema we have to vet these pending bills. You get? Which is necessary because there are some pending bills that are fake. Yeah? Now they'll say we are doing vetting. Tena hapo, ugunza kama uko na hospitali, unaambiwa bili yako ni 762 million. Ebu leta 10% tukulipe the rest. Hivyo. That is how they'll take advantage of this situation. And then kuna wengine watakosa ku raise the 10%. Yao itapotea hivyo, itakunywa maji. Si ati itarudi. You know, hivyo ndio itapotea. So we are dealing with a criminal enterprise. Yeah? And this is happening not just in the Ministry of Health. It is happening across all agencies in government and all departments. People are going through an extremely rough time. But government is so casual about the pain Kenyans are facing. That is why we are willing to ask government to drop this scheme. It is purely for self-aggrandizement. Bring back NHIF and improve on it. It is possible. You've been embarrassed with the higher education funding model. You decided to go back to HELB. This is more critical. We are dealing with people's lives. You can withdraw from this. And actually, the people involved in all this should be dealt with in accordance with the law. Because if you look at it, the entire thing, and I wonder how judges allowed this amount to be deducted from our pay slips, because people went to court. Yeah? It has gone right now. Let me talk about the deduction. Right now, in the past I used to pay about 2,000 shillings from my pay slip for NHIF. It is a pool. Now, I'm being deducted about 30,000. Yeah? Now, this 30,000... Now, this 30,000 is supposed to take care of those who can't afford.
Right.
But now, those who can't afford cannot step into hospitals and get treatment. Why? Because government is holding on to payments that should be going to those hospitals for them to be able to run.
Hata yangu imepanda sana.
Kila mtu imepanda baya.
Yangu sasa ni 9,000. NHIF.
Hata sitaki kuangalia yangu.
Angalia bro.
Sitaki kuangalia. This is a scam.
It is a scam.
Let me
it
ask
is
you.
a scam. And you've heard people talk about friends of those in power who are pushing this.
Yeah.
You may not believe. Police officers have a specialized hospital here on Mbagathi Road that has never been used.
What do you mean?
It has never been used because they want to push business to certain people. Police officers are supposed to go to certain hospitals, push business for certain people.
Poison watu kwa hoteli, wakuje kwa hospitali tulifungua juzi.
Yeah. You get?
Yeah.
That is where we are.
There are 130 something billion that you've said.
104 billion.
No, the collection.
Yeah, the 138 billion collection.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it sufficient to
It is more than enough.
sustainably take care of our health?
It is adequate to take care of our healthcare. The problem we have is not just at the top, even at the lower levels. You know, whereby even pharmacists steal medicine from the hospitals to their private chemists.
Yeah.
That kind of leakage. You have nurses stealing syringes here and what have you, and gloves and all that, and taking them to private hospitals. We have all these leakages in the entire chain that makes it impossible. But that amount is adequate to transform the healthcare. And that is where we are saying this. Why don't you reduce the deductions and reduce the strain on Kenyans so that they can have disposable income for them to shop? You know, the president is so excited that the inflation rate has gone down. It is not because of their fiscal policies. It is because people are too broke. You go to coffee shops today, there are no people in coffee shops.
Empty.
Pubs, it is... You can rarely find all this. Yeah. You see, so that is a demonstration that people are strained. Reduce on this amount that is being contributed. It is unfair to the people who elected us that we are supposed to be representing in Parliament. And that is why today we have a SHA system that the president speaks very well about. But he knows, the president knows what he's pushing. The same as housing. We know the people who are supplying cement, steel, the brokers, and even the management companies that are managing those estates. This is the problem where the executive has interest in businesses within government.
You know, at some point, it's going to reach a tipping point. You know that.
Yeah, people are tired. And that is why the president knows. The president knows he's desperate. The president knows his schemes are not, don't seem to be working the way he intended. And that is why he is now trying to clutch on straws. And clutching on straws is losing government. Losing government in what sense? Raila Odinga has taken close to half of his government, and people from Uhuru Kenyatta's side have taken also a significant bit of government. It is a demonstration that legitimacy of the government that was elected, William Ruto's government, has waned, or there is no legitimacy to rule over these people or to govern this country. That is why he keeps picking people from here and there. If you genuinely want to deal with the health situation in Kenya, if you wanted professionals from ODM, for example, you should have called for Dr. James Nikal. James Nikal, who has been, who has risen through the ranks within the Ministry of Health, who has become all the way to a member of parliament making laws. These laws is one of the people who made them. These are the but now, because of the reward system of impressing our masters and the people that control us, you find that those who are picked as professionals are purely those that are probably extremely loyal to the powers that be. We need to ask, and I'm very proud of the media, very, very proud of the media. We post on Twitter, the bloggers, government sponsored bloggers, will start asking us, why don't you ask these things in parliament? You see, so it is an orchestrated scheme. It is a web.
Yeah, and now the Auditor General has pushed the baton on you guys, saying, Saizi, it rests with the legislature, MPs, because you're the accounting and appropriations agency.
And you are part of the government.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, you're part of the health committee.
You decide. Now, so amesema it stops with you now. Yes, sababu mulikuwa mmemweka on a tight spot kumuuliza why didn't she recommend the prosecution of those involved. Like asema her hands are tied to that end. Na nyinyi kama parliament mnapanga kufanya namna gani?
Right now, the first thing, the other day we went for a retreat, midterm retreat. Midterm retreat is whereby for the middle part of the term, you know, we are in parliament for 5 years. When you get to the middle, you have to have a retreat, look at what you've achieved so far, and look at what you are going to do in the next 2.5 years. Now, when we were at the retreat, do you know now every member of parliament was up in arms talking about SHA. When I was raising issues about SHA, posting even in our parliamentary WhatsApp group, we have a WhatsApp group of the 13th parliament. When I was posting, people were ignoring. People didn't listen to me. Yeah.
What were you telling them?
I was telling them there is this monster that is coming. It is going to mess up the health sector. Please, can we rise and stop it? Even the implementation, when they were pushing to implement it on 1st of October, I told the transition committee, please, can you request for more time? They refused, because the people that are benefiting wanted this thing to pass so fast so that money can be available for them to use to bribe politicians to support their cause. Yeah. So now when parliamentarians realized that it is now a problem, the other day when we were in Naivasha, they began asking hard questions. And these hard questions, we had to sit with the SHA and the ministry for them to answer the questions. Our chairman presented the report to parliament the other day, but issues keep coming up, like what the Auditor General has come up with, the control of budget, and that is why parliament needs to now step up and say this regulation, of course through the committee, this regulation, this law, we need to repeal it. That is one. Number two, we need to do something called an inquiry. An inquiry is something that is so serious, whereby investigations are done to get to the bottom of this, whereby we get to know, Jeff, how did you come up with this idea? What was your intention? Where does this money go to? You may not believe, even onboarding of hospitals is skewed, whereby hospitals that are not too aligned, that are known to have said this law is not good, have not been onboarded. Hospitals, facilities, hospitals that belong to certain friends of those in power get paid, actually. They get paid. the amounts that they claim.
Mheshimiwa, this is criminal.
It is.
It is criminal because in accordance with the Public Finance Management Act, that pesa yote inachangwa ama inatolewa kwa Wakenya, ushuru na mambo mengine kama yale na ada na nini, levies na vitu kama hizo, inafaa kwenda kwa consolidated fund.
Alafu
from there control of budget ndio anafaa ku approve kama inatumika namna gani. But now how do we have 3 companies wako na escrow account, pesa inakuwa collected from Kenyans, inaenda kwa hiyo escrow account.
Kwanza watu walipata contract aje? SHA ilianza kuwork October. Do you know there's a company that was hii Apiro ilikuwa registered in Dubai in May of 2024. Aya, ukikuja the local company ilikuwa registered the previous year in July. Ndio ujue ni scheme. And then none of these companies or their associates, convergence. None of these companies has ever anywhere in the world constructed a system of this magnitude.
Na Safaricom iliingiaje kwa hii mix?
Now Safaricom wana provide in a digital highway. Yani ndio unajua data hii, kuna watu huko mashinani wanaitwa community health promoters. Wako na laptops, wana tablets fulani na masimu ambazo wanatumia kufanya treatment at the very basic level. Wakitest watu kama
high blood pressure
ama sugar levels nini hizo wanaweka wanatuma. So hiyo detail inafaa kukua kwa kila hospitali, unaona. So the internet, the super highway ambayo ni Safaricom ndio ina provide. You must have a provider of that magnitude ambaye akona network across the country.
That's how Safaricom comes in. Lakini convergence na Apiro
hizo ni kukata. Ni kukata do. Hizo ni kukata do.
Wanachuna.
Au kazi yao ni kuchuna. Ukifuatilia kuna huyu advisor wa president, bibi yake ni one of the directors in
unasema ndi
the Gatabakis. We have to be sincere and confront this monster without fear, because we are putting the lives of Kenyans in jeopardy. You may not believe, the president yesterday said SHA paid for Honorable Malulu Njendi, let him rest in peace, a total of about 9 million shillings. SHA. But there is a baby who needed some emergency treatment. Alikuwa sijui na heart complication. Alikuwa anahitaji 1 million or something. Do you know, yeye alilipiwa 11,000 shillings. It is very unfair.
You are the lawmakers.
Yes, I agree.
What are you planning?
That is where Kenyans need to know. Parliament has become an appendage. It has become an extension of the executive. And the executive has known they keep bribing these members of parliament. They may not come to myself, they may not go to let's say Wamboka or Babu Owino, because we have demonstrated consistently that we cannot allow government to continually systematically frustrate our people.
Mahesh.
Yes.
This is going to come back and bite you people.
Yes.
Where it hurts the most.
I had someone say yesterday the streets are calling.
The streets indeed are calling. And this is a big problem. And I'm sorry to say, the broad-based government, where our party has gotten, they say, some professionals into government, and our party leader is making trips across the country, trying to consult his supporters. I don't know how true the consultations are, because I know Kenyans are injured, Kenyans are suffering in various ways. I'm wondering why our party cannot just stand up and say, no, this cannot work, this is inappropriate, this is improper. We are only having a few of us who are standing up to confront government and tell them the truth. And government knows they become so unpopular. So what they are doing, they continue demanding for these monies, and they have their ways. You've realized those escrow accounts where money is sent to. The people are at the very top are given this money. It is their money actually. They use it to bribe politicians and bloggers and some media houses or media personalities to present government like a government that is doing something to improve the welfare of our people, which is not true.
Bottom line, Mahesh.
Yes.
This scheme is a scam.
I like that. Say that again.
I said this scheme
is
a scam.
Yes, and I like what Senator Kajwang said. This SHA thing is a crime scene, and we need to just stop it, go back to NHIF, reorganize it. Even other than all the issues I've told you, the staff at SHA are sabotaging the implementation of this. Why? Because from the start they were shown the sword. They were told that all of them
they will be let go.
Yes, they would be sacked or they would be redesignated. They would not work for SHA.